How you guys doing? Real Sensi. Big thanks to Ganda for coming out today. How you guys doing?
Great. How you doing?
Awesome. Before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Puff Sauce, Dad's Elixir, Boundless Tech, and Red Feathers Farm.
Yeah.
Big thanks to you guys keeping us all elevated, helping us out, making this possible. Let's get started.
Yes, I thank you so much to our sponsors, and thank you so much to Ganda. Thank you guys for coming down. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We love you guys.
How'd you guys all get your start in music?
Really, as long as I can remember. Really, for me, personally, music's always been in my life. Ever since I was a kid, pretending like I'm some superstar when I'm not. Just some 8-year-old. Yeah. There's a couple home videos out there, I know.
Oh, yeah.
No, started really getting into it. Right around high school. Kind of out after high school, like college years.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my second year.
Oh, yeah.
And then started really getting involved with like recording, performing and stuff. And then I met that guy, and I've known him for, I don't know what, 12, 13 years, 14 years. Yeah, 2008. So
That's awesome.
It's been a long time for me and him. And then I met Adam, like 2 years ago. And
That's amazing. The whole journey and how you guys all met.
Yeah, no,
That's
been
Right?
wild for me, and I'm sure these guys have a totally different story, but it kind of all we all wound up together somehow.
Hell yeah, that's
so.
awesome. You guys all found each other and made this amazing band, and you guys'
Fuck yeah.
message. It's amazing what you guys are trying to do, so thank
Yup.
you.
I'm gonna pass the mic.
So how did you guys come up with the name Ganda?
So we had a drummer previously that was Filipino. So I guess John and him were sitting around one day, and John had seen like something that said Ganda, and he was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh, that means beautiful," in Tagalog.
That's
so
awesome.
So he was like, "What the fuck?" And they were looking for a name at that point. I wasn't in the band then. I was just like producing John and his acoustic stuff, and then I started like recording the band. So I was mainly like the producer at
That's
that point,
awesome.
and just I have like my own label, so I was like distributing.
So you're still involved.
His music. I was still involved. It wasn't until January of last year that like it just made sense. It was like, why am I not? I was recording guitar for some of the songs, so it was like, why am I not playing lead?
Exactly.
So I just hopped on. But yeah. So the word means beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Basically.
So what kind of things do you guys like to do to get inspired to write music?
I like to smoke weed. It depends though. Yeah, life's crazy. Like I feel like the only time I really like get anything out of music is when it's like something like a show or like a festival I go to or something big in my life.
Feel the energy.
Yeah, something that's impactful.
Straight up.
Other than that, like I grind on a day-to-day basis. I have a job, and
Hell
these
yeah.
guys have jobs, and we are
That's
all
what you
like,
gotta do.
yeah, we all hustle. So I think the only like real aspect of music is when we're actually doing it. When we're actually doing it is like playing shows.
Definitely. Just taking one day at a time, just practicing and always just grinding, just
Yeah.
spreading the love, honestly, and just
Yeah, no, and that too. Like
taking-
we don't even practice that much. Like we barely meet up to do.
setting goals for 2020.
Fuck,
You guys got
we
this.
gotta practice.
All goody.
No, I love practice. Practice is good.
Adding on to that, what was the creative process behind your brand new single, Ganda Train?
The party aspect of like who we were, I guess, at the time with my old drummer and like his networking and what he was doing like on his social media and the band's social media, and it was like just really about getting people involved with like who we were,
Definitely.
what we were doing. It has like a little bit of a hip hop vibe too, and that was like a point we wanted to get across. We wanted to make it known that we weren't just like a solid reggae band. It was
A little
more.
bit of everything.
It was more of like a harder version of it, and we wanted to, I think, explore that route. But
That's awesome.
we got a new
It's
album
really
coming
cool.
out, and it's way different, and I hope
yeah.
everybody enjoys it.
Really excited to hear that.
Yeah, no, the whole style of what I do personally as a musician and what Adam adds to it as a guitarist and this guy as a drummer, it's an all around going to be a solid experience for
That's awesome.
both us and the listener, for sure.
It's awesome, all the roots and everything that everyone could take in from each other.
Yep.
It's super cool.
It's so fun. And
That's amazing.
and that's what we want the music to reflect, is like how fun it is.
Hell yeah, you
Bring
guys are
people
doing a
back to
great
that
job.
vibe. Yeah.
What kind of message are you guys trying to portray in your music?
Well, I think the writing of it, I pretty much like write all the songs as far as like the content of it, what the song's about. And I like to write about pretty much personal life shit, you know, my day-to-day thing, stories, you know, what I go through as an artist, what I go through as a dad, or, you know, as a family member, you know.
Definitely.
Real life events for sure are like my main like thing, but everything else comes to me. Like I never like sit down and write a song. I'm always like inspired by something, and and then the song kind of just takes me with it.
Oh yeah. So how would you describe your music to someone who's never heard it before?
Damn, you want him to do this one? I'm bad at that.
Are these vegan?
Those are straight from
So
the
they're
tree.
vegan?
Yeah. They are vegan.
Straight from the
lab.
These are vegan though.
Yeah,
Cut
the metal's not. So the sound is kind of like reggae influenced, as far as like how the music is driven.
Yeah.
But it's more like of an aggressive outlet, you know.
Yeah.
So like I come from like a punk background, but then I learned like my music theory, so I branched out into like classical and all kinds of different instruments and music.
That's awesome.
But like the foundation that I kind of bring as a guitar player is more blues. So
Yeah.
like when I'm playing like blues over reggae, you know, and then the way he sings isn't traditionally reggae.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, so you get the chicka and some of the drums and the driving bass, but it's like heavily like influenced by other things, and it's I guess like
Exactly.
aggressive, you could say,
Yeah.
you know.
Definitely. That's
Yeah,
sick.
but I guess not really ska, because ska's more like jumpy and uppy, and this is
Yeah.
more like in your face, like
Straight up.
we're like blowing smoke in your face, like
Yeah.
you know. And ska's like sitting back over here
It's like
dancing
what?
and smoke, you know?
What?
That's true.
Straight up.
Attitude.
Oh yeah.
Little
That's sick.
flair.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like, I was traditionally trained on the drums as a jazz drummer. So you know, whenever I join any kind of project, I always look at the bigger picture, which in this case would be reggae. So I try to step outside of the box of a traditional reggae drummer, you know, and put in more influence as in jazz. Same thing with Adam, you
Exactly.
know, jazz, blues,
That's awesome.
or even something more of like grunge, you know.
Exactly.
Like they said, we definitely have an edge, you know. Like we go and play these shows with other reggae bands, and you have, you know, you're just traditional reggae, and it's amazing.
Who are all our friends?
Yeah, we're all friends with, but then I feel like when we get up there, you see more of just like this post garage reggae band, you know,
Yeah.
like just attitude.
That's
and
sick.
you know, there's times where me and John in the past have played shows where there's little kids and you think, oh, maybe we should take a step back, but then we look at each other and say, nah, this is who we are. We have
Yeah.
attitude. These kids
Straight
need to
up.
learn, you know.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something.
These kids need to learn.
Show 'em the way.
They're probably
Um,
drug addicts now. Sorry.
Damn.
Sorry, Mom, Dad.
What was the recording process behind your album? What's a musician?
We do it all ourselves, man. Adam is the main, you know, the guy behind it, like the captain of that ship.
Oh yeah.
He does all the recording and all the, you know, producing. And I take part in co-producing the album, and you know, I try really hard to be there when, you know, we're doing all the mixing and.
Exactly.
But it's pretty much based around the fact that we do it ourselves.
yeah.
you know?
Straight up. That's awesome.
So like a big part of that is having complete control over everything. So like you
Exactly.
can go to somebody, you can go to anybody or label or anybody, but even like take for instance our streaming, we have our music on Spotify, Apple's, iTunes, whatever. If you go and buy a song for 99 cents, we get the 99 cents. We get the full 99 cents. You stream a song, it's like 0.0067 of a cent, but we get that whole whatever, you know, percentage.
Yeah.
So what it comes down to is like when we get streaming, we get our full control and our full access over everything. So by recording,
Exactly.
I mix master everything. I record. He mainly writes all the parts and does everything, and then I basically produce it all and engineer it.
Hell
So
yeah.
when we're uploading, we don't have any samples. We don't have anybody to credit or anybody to do anything to.
Exactly.
There's no middleman. There's nobody with their hand in our cookie
Yeah,
jar in
that's
our
awesome.
pockets.
You don't need anyone else to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That's
like
awesome.
we've managed to make like a little bit of money, but the money that we've made is more so a reflection of us doing it ourselves and the
Yeah.
complete control over it.
That's
you know?
awesome.
So that makes like the big difference.
Definitely.
Now we have
Big
our own
ups.
studio. Like we have our own little like practice studio now,
That's
which we
sick.
turn into like our recording.
That's
And
awesome.
it's gonna be the spot of where we record our next album, or
That's
where we
perfect.
already have started recording
Yeah,
our next
just keep
album.
building, keep building. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Just got to keep grinding.
Trying to bring fire for sure.
Just the little things, that's awesome to keep you guys motivated. So keep it up.
Thank you.
What do you guys think has been the hardest thing you had to overcome as a musician?
Yeah, growing up
Mm-hmm.
fucking sucks.
Right? The time never stops.
dude, trying to fucking be a dad, and for me, trying to be a dad and hold down a job and make
Mhm.
money, and
It's crazy.
at the same
this
time
world.
get to the show on time, get to the interview on time.
It's crazy. It's nonstop.
Sorry, if it's dark. But yeah, trying to get everything together and still like at the end of the day be cool, and be happy with everything.
Be happy with
It's
yourself.
definitely the
you know?
hardest. Definitely.
Definitely.
Everything else is an obstacle.
It
you
is,
get
and you
over
just
it.
got to keep pushing it because you got it.
Hmm.
Do you have any advice you would like to give to aspiring musicians trying to do what you do?
Yeah, don't give up for me. That's mine.
Yes.
I would say just be true to yourself. I've been doing music since I was 6, and a lot of people have been doubting me and telling me that it's not gonna work, and to me it's not about that. If you
Mhm.
really love music and you really love the art of it and you want to express yourself, that's what it really comes down to. And that's along with what I was saying about the edge that we have, is it doesn't matter the standards.
Mhm.
If that's what you are, then it's what you are. And if you can have friends and good family behind you, then you're
That's all that
lucky. But
matters.
if not, just keep going, man. Just
Mhm.
keep doing it. It's going to be rewarding in the end, no matter what.
Yes. It's awesome.
So, what kind of artists inspire you to create music?
I forgot what I said. Dr. Dre. Everybody, man. I love music, but I liked hip hop at a younger age, and then it turned into like a serious fucking reggae fan. Like I've loved reggae ever since like I
Straight
can
up.
remember. But now I like listen to weird shit like techno and fucking house music and really weird '90s music. And
No worries.
yeah, no, I
Everybody
just
likes
like
it.
to get like weird
Whatever.
sounds. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You? What about you?
That's how you build inspiration.
Classically trained, so it's weird.
I got everything. Honestly, like this guy named Jan Tiersen. He's like a minimalist composer. He did the score for the movie Amelie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a French movie.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's probably like my biggest influence in the past decade, just because I've always been fascinated by like brilliant minds that are capable of like doing everything. So this guy like writes everything, plays accordion, violin, fucking piano, everything. And
That's crazy.
he also came from a punk background, so it's kind of there's like a duality there, you know.
Yeah, that's sick.
But yeah, so like the way I look, and I'll have like punk pants and all this, like I just look like I'm gonna scream in your. I came from where I'm gonna look like I'm gonna scream in your face or something, and I'll sit down at the piano and play like Chopin or pretty shit, you know. So like
yeah.
there's that duality too. So for me, I like that contrast, you know.
Yeah, straight up.
I when I was 6 years old, I was listening to Police a lot, and because of Stuart Copeland, the drummer for the Police, I told my dad that I wanted to play the drums, and he bought me a drum set, and I've been
That's
playing
sick.
ever since. So, the Police is definitely, he knows, is one of my hugest influence.
Police are great.
I love them so much, you know. But then growing up, I kind of, I had a dad who listened to Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, all those great classical
Yeah,
rock
straight
bands.
up.
And at some point in my life, I kind of broke away from that and tried to listen to new music and different things. So where I'm at in my life now, I listen to a lot of everything, just indie to hip hop to jazz to classical, blues music, everything. I'm always trying to find new artists to listen to, and even the guys who are just coming out inspire me to this day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, music is always changing and people are always growing. So
Definitely.
there's some really, really talented kids out there who, are just blowing me away every single day and
Straight up.
influencing me to get better at my art and my craft,
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. How have these musicians helped you form the person you guys are today?
diversity. You know, knowing that there is no limit, there is no wall that you have to stop at. You can bring anybody, like I said, any of these genres in and mix it up and make something new.
That's awesome.
What about you?
Hell yeah. Well said.
I guess as like somewhat of a result, I've managed to pick up like probably 9 to 10 instruments,
Wow.
just
That's
seeking
awesome.
out on my own. Like I bought an accordion. I didn't even know anything about the accordion. I just seen this guy play it, and I was like, that shit sounds so badass. Like the fuck? I always thought this shit was like some folky polka shit, like And then I see this guy play his music, and it's just amazing. So I saw one in a pawn shop. I had to ask the guy how to play it because I didn't even know if it worked. I was like, "Can you play it so I know how it works?" And this is this Russian guy, and he goes like this. He goes, he picks it up, and he turns to the side. And he goes, "This Russian song, you don't know." And he starts playing like this, and I was like, "All right, sold." And then I had to like look up a chart, and like I know the circle of fifths, so I had to figure out the diagram and the buttons.
Wow.
But if it wasn't for me being directly
perform.
inspired by like something that you would normally look aside, I was just intrigued by it. Like, damn, everybody looks
Caught
past
your
this
eye.
instrument,
That's awesome. Hell yeah. That's amazing. I appreciate that. All of that. Hell yeah. What has been the most memorable experience you had while being on stage?
I've broken a lot of bottles over my head. That's about. So the most memorable
That's
is
your
like me
most-
breaking a bottle over my head and like trying to grab the glass so I could like chew it and and spit it into the crowd. It's bad. And like my bandmates grabbing me from like behind and as I was trying to reach for it, like stopping me, like not letting me. So that's like memorable because I was like, what the fuck? Like I'm not hurting you, anybody else, and like it's not even gonna hurt. Like just a little like, and they're like, you can't chew glass, and like, I'm like what? Why not? Like it was just fucking bad. So yeah, but that was like 10 years ago. Oh, you remember that?
That's still your most memorable.
I remember one time I farted on stage.
Oh my god.
And the whole band smelled it, and they all were like so like they were like, "Are you serious?" But we kept playing. We had to play the song. It was like in the middle of the song, dude. It was bad.
Jeez. That's gnarly.
Tour is crazy, and the food that you eat is nasty, and sometimes you don't have control of your bowel movements.
Right. Is there anything you would want to change looking back on everything you guys have accomplished?
No, I want to keep getting better. Yeah.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
I look back on everything and it's cool, you know. They're like tattoos. Everything's a tattoo, but fuck, we have a whole body still to fill it up. And
Straight up.
straight up looking like 5 years down the road, I want like 4 or 5 albums, and so we got a lot of
Yeah,
work
just
to
keep
do in
pushing.
that sense. But
Straight up.
it's definitely like I look back on everything. I'm like, oh, we can do better. We're gonna
Yep.
do better. Everything's gonna sound better. The shows are gonna be better. The turnouts are gonna be better.
Yeah, as long as you just keep pushing, just keep
yeah,
working
everything
at it,
all around. What we're
That's how it
doing
is.
as musicians is gonna get better for sure.
Straight up. That's awesome. What are your goals for your music in 2020?
That's a tough question. It's hard, man. Like you think about everything and where the music industry's at and what the reggae charts look like and stuff, you know. I don't know. I just want to be on another level for sure, like personally.
My goal is to make 10K this year from streaming.
Hell yeah.
So like I've done I've done numbers and like it's not unfathomable with what we made off of 6 songs. You know, like it's and like pretty shitty numbers. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's not like anything to be like like And we managed to make like what we made off of. I've done the math. Like it's possible to make like 10K this year off of streaming.
Yeah,
Because we have
straight up.
complete control over everything.
That's
so
awesome.
my goal is that just like put as much music as possible, stream it. Here's the thing too, is like if we put out an album with 12 songs, those other 6 songs are still there. Those people listening to those 12 songs will listen to those. So it'll
Yeah.
constantly be exponential. We put out another project, it's just constantly, just income.
Yeah,
So
straight
my
up.
my plan is like this time next year, like instead of paying rent for a lockout, we're owning a lockout.
Yeah.
Like
That's easier.
just our own space, not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, instead of renting one out every month.
We're looking forward to your guys' album, and also adding on to that, is there anyone you guys would like to shout out that has helped you throughout your whole musical career?
I just want to shout out to all my friends and family back home, the ones who have always had my back and always supported me, showing up to show after show after show, telling me that our music's good, and that we have potential
Hell yeah.
and driving us forward every single day.
It's awesome.
Definitely want to thank all the musicians out there who are just keeping the local music scene going
Alive.
every single day, and all the cool shows and bars that let us play, and awesome guys like you for
Thank you
bringing
so
us on your
much.
show.
We appreciate
You know, we really
you.
appreciate every single one in the music industry who keeps it real every single day.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I would like give a shout out to Fleischmann's vodka. No, I drink so much of that shit though. Like before I drink so much of that shit. So like my shout out is like to like things that have like corrected me in the sense. So like I want to give a shout out to like county jail. Like yep. I'm joking. It's like whatever the fuck I want. You know how many times I've heard that, bro? I've one point at one show literally said if I have the microphone, so you listen to every goddamn word I have to say. Like the wedding singer. They told me you can't say that on camera, and I was like, you just fucked up. Like,
I like to thank Adam for it, in the sense that it wouldn't be possible to be where we are. Both of you guys. And that's I was kidding. You gotta feed two birds with one scone. Okay.
Hell yeah.
No. And just everybody's been down with us, man.
And
Everybody.
Since we're real Sensi, we gotta ask, what is your favorite strain?
OG. Anything OG.
oh yeah. Shout out to Bart too. Because this is one dude that's like we could say is like our first like real like fan that we didn't know like but aside from our music, you know, he would just come to show up to shows and shit, you know.
Yeah.
So like when we're down the line and popping, you know, people like that make a difference, you know. Lemon Kush. No, it's lemon skunk. I forgot to say that. I was like, you know what? Let me shout out one person. I said county jail.
That's cool.
Yeah, I cut you guys off.
The classic Blue Dream for sure.
Straight up.
You knew that. Yeah, heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
What's your guys' favorite strain?
Forbidden
you were
fruit.
getting
Forbidden
interviewed.
fruit. Straight up.
Oh.
You like forbidden fruit?
We got some fire forbidden fruit one time. Yeah.
Well, you said that. Anything that's like 30% THC.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Something that's like
Something high.
Pacific Stone. for
Yeah,
sure.
straight up Pacific Stone. Shout out. Yeah, well, we really appreciate you guys coming out. We're gonna definitely do some more stuff. Look out for some acoustic sessions and like the video and
Yeah.
check these guys
Thank you
out for
guys,
sure.
appreciate
Ganda
it.
Music.
Thank you guys so much.
You.